Thank you for listening and welcome to the Life Podcast, a proud member of the Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network. I'm your host, Don Smith. Jess Cordry, Mike Shea, and Leslie Battle stick around for the exciting conclusion of this twofer. I share some of the tame stories from my youth spent in a mythical small town. If you enjoy the show, like and follow the Life 1069 on Facebook and Don Smith Comedy on Twitter. Or tune in live on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can stream the show live at WWSU1069.org.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
All right, welcome back to Life Radio Show. You were wondering how long I was going to do that.
I was hoping it would go longer.
Yeah,
I want you to make it
was reminding me of
go for your own world record, Don.
I'm weak. yeah, make it a world record. Hey, if they can swallow a sword and get it. Welcome back to the Life
Why do
Radio
I
Show. I'm
suddenly
your host,
want to
Don
watch
Smith.
Don swallow a sword?
Never going to happen.
That's a suggestion.
Sorry about that.
Jess Cordry's over there talking about fun.
Yeah,
Is that an important call? You need to take that one?
Well,
North Dakota,
No,
turn
he's
down your
playing the
radio.
show. You
I
didn't
was
hear your own
playing the
voice?
show. It was your own
Oh,
voice.
okay.
I was
So,
trying. I was
yeah,
trying not to get the feedback of the reverberation, but then I realized that's a phone, so you're not going to get
Okay,
any
so
feedback.
that's the one listener we have. It's actually
Well,
thanks.
yeah,
I thought we were getting somewhere with this, Jess, but nope, it's just you.
It's just him every week. It's just now he's here.
Yeah, that's the only difference.
I closet watch a lot. I'm not going to lie.
I knew you were in the closet.
That
Jess Cordry's still in.
questions.
Mike Shea's still in.
Still here.
Leslie Battle's still in.
Leslie Battle is all
Everybody
in.
stuck around.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is
Yes,
fantastic.
this
I
is-
didn't. I
this is
figured
fun.
there'd be at least one of you take off.
No.
As long as there's Coke,
Nope.
I'm good.
As long as there's what?
Did you just say Coke?
I mean, sorry.
Yep.
Coca-Cola.
Oh.
Now
Jess
they-
trying to get me arrested. That's what's going on. Jess is like, how far can I push the envelope before somebody comes in and just like, yeah, we knew you guys be too rowdy. You get some soul in
That's
there.
the goal of this show every week.
Oh, is it? Oh.
To get fired.
Try and get canceled.
Yeah. I've been trying to get canceled for 4.5
I know.
years now. You believe these guys are this slow?
I keep praying I'll be on the show when it
That's how
happens.
punishment works.
Yeah,
It's like, let's.
Yeah, we'll
There-
keep you. We'll keep you.
You're
doing
just
this.
going to
They'll
make you
learn.
keep doing it till you get it right, Don.
Worst they did was put me in charge.
Yeah.
And then the
I
room
mean-
got quiet. What?
I like the way.
Well, we were all thinking it.
Yeah, we just keep it quiet so he feels uncomfortable.
I don't know
He
enough
just-
of the history to make a decision on that.
That's all right. So what were we talking about
Leashes.
during the break? Leashes?
Yeah.
Leashes on children. No joke. We had some neighbors when I was growing up, and this is the probably a very white trash neighborhood. I loved my neighborhood back then because it was fun, but it's not now because everybody's grown up and more responsible people have moved in. But we had neighbors across the street that actually, when their children were children, like toddlers, they would leave the house and leave them tied to the porch.
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I kind of feel like that's one level above the no seatbelt thing. You know?
Yeah. That's a little worse.
I don't think a lot of people were doing that.
Yeah.
then.
Yeah. I mean,
That's-
in diapers.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a fun neighborhood.
Little
Fun
little
neighborhood.
bowl of
We-
water and
we,
like, are you
bowl
in
of water
touch
and
with those
Cheerios
people
next
as
to 'em?
adults now?
Yes.
Of course you are.
And they're okay. Well, one just got out of prison.
The
Defining
parent,
okay.
the parent or the kid?
What's that?
The parent or the kid?
The parents are gone,
Oh, okay.
which
Yeah. Well,
but, yeah, it was a weird dynamic.
If there's kids strapped to leeches on your porch, it's always going to be a weird dynamic.
See, I
That's-
was like
yeah,
a kid
that's-
too.
there's
They're both
so
older
much.
than me, you know, and we grew up together, and they were not well adjusted.
Now, was it like normal kids like break out the gimp and leather outfit kids? Like, were they all dressed up?
No,
or
they were just kids.
Like in
They're
diapers?
just kids trying to be kids with the crappy way to go.
That's,
You
yeah.
just took it down a little bit.
But hey, I will.
way to
we
be a,
delivered-
way,
I will-
way to pull a
What-
Patrick
what-
there, Don.
What was that about? Who wants to leave?
It got to be fun when we got older. Their dad was like 4'8", And he was just, it was so much fun.
That explains it.
Never had a pair of pants that fit. And he was, as these kids were teenagers, of course, they started
Got
giving
taller
him
than
hell.
him.
And they were taller than him, and it was always fun to watch him run around the yard trying to kick them. Because
That's
his
wonderful.
pants were falling down the whole time, and eventually they'd just fall down around his ankles, and he'd trip and fall over, and they'd go running off laughing.
Is he the one who started
Great
the whole
neighborhood.
saggy pants thing?
Probably.
Okay.
No, he was not a trendsetter. He was an idiot.
And most trendsetters are not. Is what
That's
you're
true.
saying?
That's true. He
Son, come here. I got to put the leash on you. You can't reach the collar now, Dad. I'm taller than you.
he used to fake heart attacks for sympathy.
Oh my!
Which was great
man.
because one time somebody called an ambulance, and of
And
course,
he got that bill.
of course, the EMS guys were there trying to get him in the ambulance, and he didn't want to go because, of course, he was faking. He didn't want anybody to know he was faking. So one of our other next door neighbors came over to help the EMS guys and punched him until he was out cold, so that they could take him into the ambulance. Knocked him the Smurf out.
That is beautiful.
So to answer your
I
earlier,
love that neighborhood.
I kind of feel like that was the universe putting out some justice. Like, yeah,
Right?
we're gonna make this happen.
I grew up in the hills of West Virginia almost. Where did you where's the magical place that you grew up?
It doesn't exist anymore. It's only in my memories.
so
is it
to
there.
answer your earlier question, Don, yes, that is very white trash.
And
You're
It
their
wasn't a
next door,
question. Don established it as fact from the beginning.
Yeah.
That was never a question.
their next door neighbor, who was right across the street from us, her 47-year-old son that lived with her, got arrested because he broke into the grain elevator and down the street, broke into the little shop they had, and called the police on himself because he was too drunk to figure out how to get back out.
But if you're looking for geographical landmarks, it was near a grain elevator.
Yeah.
So
Probably a county seat.
Close, but not quite.
Okay, yeah. It's rural and I got to track this down.
Like I said, the magic is gone, man. It's
now,
gone.
which was this
Yeah,
in
they got a
Ohio?
Walmart
Well, our
now.
next door neighbors are still there.
Was this in
And
Ohio?
there is, yes, it was.
Oh man!
Yeah.
So this is the Florida of Ohio.
Yes,
It's-
that is a great way to put it. Absolutely. Our next
so
our
who
next
went
door
on
neighbor.
vacation to Florida and brought back a baby alligator? That's all I wanted because that's what's going to make it complete. Is somebody flushed an alligator and it's watching a 40-inch screen TV.
I bet you at one point my next door neighbors did, because they had animals everywhere. They had like 14 parrots in their house, inside their house, all talking at once. I hated going in there. They had animals in pens outside. They had like ducks and guineas and geese and everything out there. They had like 18 cats running around the neighborhood. I think at one time they had
The
6
cats were afraid
Cocker
of the
Spaniels.
parrots.
Yeah, they had 6 Cocker Spaniels at one time.
Good gracious!
Oh, yeah.
I bet that
And
smells
this is
great
living
down
in
the way.
town.
Yeah.
Right.
And
that grass was green as hell.
had the neighbor, yeah, the neighbor on the other side of us decided to play a joke once, so he went and took all their birds out of their pens, not the parrots inside, but all the chickens and the ducks and everything. Took them all out of there and had red paint and splattered it everywhere with some chicken feathers.
That is amazing. I love
They
everything
did-
about that.
They did not speak to those neighbors for about 2 years after that, and they were related.
This is sounding more and more
Why
like West
is
Virginia.
this not a podcast?
It is.
I'm not gonna lie.
No, I'm saying
You mean
need
the
to
whole
have a
neighborhood
separate
story?
one.
Yeah.
Just
And that-
Don's neighborhood.
You have
And-
a small
And
novel
what
on
you
your
need
hands.
to do, Don, you need to get me and Nate Washington, and we're gonna come in and be like, but we can't own a gun. What?
What you don't realize is this was the inspiration for the show Trailer Park Boys.
Here's the thing, and this wasn't a trailer park. This was
Oh,
this was
man.
a neighborhood. Of
I was
houses,
hoping it was a
actual
trailer park
houses.
because that would at least make sense.
I did not
It
grow up in a
sounds a little
trailer
South
park.
Park to me, you
Here-
guys.
yeah.
It's just, it's just
Little
like
bit.
it was Kenny.
Here's the frightening thing: my family was the normal ones.
Yeah.
If that tells you anything,
Wow. Because
I feel like I've just exposed myself a little here. You know.
nah, you wanted to
appreciate
since
it.
I walked in.
We just seen
What's that?
less.
Nothing.
That's true. you just think I didn't hear you.
No, I knew you heard me. That's why I said nothing.
So many things
I'm a
about
loud
you make
black
sense
lady.
now,
You can't
Don.
help but hear me.
Can you narrow it down to a county?
Oh,
I can, yes.
but will he?
Perfectly capable of doing that because I know where it is.
I mean, can you
It's
imagine
close
it would
by.
be like a new show that, you know how all these like Bigfoot spotters or whatever, you're just like looking for that one family. Like
Yep.
traces
Yep.
of that. They're the new, what are they called? Cryptids? What is it? The mythological animals?
Oh,
Chupacabras?
No,
Yeah.
but I mean that whole class. Like there's a whole like, oh, dang it.
Yetis?
Help me, Google.
the cryptic stuff.
Cryptics? It's
yeah,
cryptids or
cryptics,
cryptics or
yeah.
something like that.
We're getting too technical now.
Little
It's
bit.
just redneck.
Well,
and white
I
trash,
want
that's
you
all.
guys to learn something because
Well, I mean, look,
2 hours of my life.
Jess tried to give us a history lesson on sword swallowing earlier.
That's right.
so-
Yeah, that's true.
And hoes.
That's
And if
true.
ever there was somebody you could trust on that,
right?
The guy who was so informed about hoes before.
yep, hose, sword, swallowing.
Well, look, after eating all
To
those,
his credit, I just stole that from him. I don't know how nobody else heard it, but he said it first. Just said it first. So I can't just be
fine.
like,
oh, like,
stealing it.
as a guy who like knew all the stuff about MREs too, at one point he's probably like, swallowing a sword seems a lot better at this point.
That's true. That's true.
I brought cubic poop once to the
That
show.
is true. That
Yeah,
with
I
the
know a
wombat.
little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes,
Great,
cryptid, a noun, an animal whose existence or survival is disputed or unsubstantiated, such as the Yeti.
So you think that all the people I grew up with were
No, I'm just
just
saying.
mythical? I
Look.
didn't. I made them
No,
all
I'm
up.
saying that finding them now would be the same as a finding
I know
Bigfoot
where
type
some
show.
of them
It'll be a
are.
2020 episode.
Yes, I do know where many of them are.
So have they been on
a
like
lot of-
Jerry
a lot of
Springer
them
or
are no
Cops
longer
or
with
any
us.
of the
Wilkos.
requisite?
Surprisingly, no, because I mean this was back in the late
See,
70s,
that's how
early
messed
80s.
up
There,
they
there
are.
weren't a lot of those.
Even
yeah.
TV producers
Yeah.
are like, nah, dog.
Yeah, Springer said we don't have time for that.
I can't. No, that's
My show-
outside of our
Yep,
scope.
Sweeps week, maybe, but probably not.
Right.
Yeah, that was before like the Wonderful Whites of West Virginia, Boone County, those
Yeah,
documentaries.
Amish Mafia.
Yep. Yep, this is a town that exists. Wow. Still, my parents still live there. My brothers still live nearby. My
Was he the 47-year-old living with his
next door
parents?
neighbors still live in the same house.
So you're the one who was.
I bet rent is
I'm
cheap
the one
there.
who escaped, and I've only made it about 8 miles south.
All right. Okay. All right.
That's a clue, folks.
That's
Yeah.
a clue. That's a clue.
Yep.
Everyone who's
That
out there,
narrows it
Google
down.
where
Jess,
John
get on
Smith
it.
Lives. I'm getting there. I still
Yep,
get
go for it. Go for it.
If you say Miami County, that is going to explain so much for me. Was it Miami? That's where my ex's family's from.
Where?
Well,
What town?
he grew up. Well, his grandparents were in Piqua,
Okay.
but
Piqua.
it wasn't Piqua.
Where I grew up, we talked the same way about Piqua as people in Cincinnati talk about Kentucky. So Piqua, so Piqua.
So y'all completely understand why I'm divorced now, then.
even in the even in the definition of my hometown, Piqua's like, man, those people are weird.
Look, I Piqua. At least when
Now,
I
I
was
will
living
say,
there, is a
my-
good place to raise kids because they want to get the bleep
Yeah,
out.
that's true.
As soon as they turn
yeah.
18, they're just like, peace.
Now my brothers
Gotta
and I
go.
do have some land in Piqua.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess they're trying to develop it a little bit,
and there's
but
some. Well, we don't want ours developed. In fact, we try to keep people off of it.
oh,
We once chasing people with a shotgun to get back to the river and get off of our land.
I heard that story. The boaters.
Yes.
Yeah, impressive. when you're too drunk to boat.
Oh,
That's
oh,
impressive.
those guys. We didn't chase those ones off. They were far too entertaining. I ain't into all that, man.
I missed a story.
Here's what happened. Several weeks before, my brothers and I were camping down at our land. It's very primitive, no electric, no running water. Just it's right next to the river, and occasionally we have canoers and boaters going down. Well, the week before, we had some stuff stolen. We'd had some of our fishing equipment stolen off the bank, so we were on high alert. Well, we heard some canoers going down, so we was like, okay, we're going to the river, see what's going on. So we head down there, and we're crouched down, and this guy and this woman are just trashed, floating down the river in this John boat. And He gets out because he's got to pee, and they're in the little shallow parts. Like, I gotta pee. And he goes and pees, and then he gets back in the boat, and she says, "Well, it's my turn." So she gets out and she goes and squats in the river, and she comes back and she's pulling her shirt off, and he just looks at her and is like, "No, I ain't into all that."
Wow.
I was like, "Yeah, you know."
He's
And
like, I've got limits.
We're over there in the weeds just dying. Wait. And I think at one point I finally just stood up and yelled, "Get her done!"
Wow.
Yes, that was those were Pickwins. So yeah, that's
Lockington for the win?
It is as far as what?
Where you lived, Lockington for the win?
No.
Oy.
No. But our land is very close.
Kirkwood for the win.
No. You're too far north.
Oh, I have to be south.
Too far north.
God, we'll get there eventually.
What's that?
I'll get there eventually.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
We've only got 43 minutes.
Yeah, you've only
42.
Yeah. So hurry. Step on it.
Look, he's looking at a map, yo. Don't underestimate.
Yeah, he's going to be over there for a while.
Don't underestimate.
He's just going to start naming all of them, and it better be a fairly enlarged map, or you're going to miss it completely.
Wow, like Knockemstiff, Ohio?
Not quite.
That's a thing.
Yeah, you've never been to Knockemstiff, Ohio?
Well, I don't know.
I can't say that I
At the time
have.
I was growing up, there's about maybe 1,200 people.
That's
So it's not tiny.
That's bigger than where I live. Well,
But it's
your
in Miami
house, yeah.
County.
But it is in Miami County. How did we get to just guessing where I grew up?
because
you started it.
You
Started
pretty
it,
much
man.
put a place on
Yeah.
Earth that
You-
even
you-
West
You
Virginians
said,
are
you
going,
said 8
"What
miles.
the
And it
hell
was just
is
like,
going on here?"
You opened
Well,
it
I
up
mean,
with
you gotta-
children tied to the front porch.
Right.
You got to remember, this isn't something that happened all day, every day. This was just random
that
events.
is not material.
Yeah,
That doesn't make
That
it.
didn't happen at all.
That doesn't make it better.
Right.
That's
the fact that
true.
it happened
That's
at
true.
all.
That's
This
true.
is one of those, it happened.
Our next door neighbor
Thanks.
he chewed chewing tobacco and he had false teeth.
Surprise.
And
That's
it
so
was-
low on the scale right now.
Well,
I mean,
it was fun because he used to play poker at my parents' house, and every now and then he'd call on the phone the next morning and say, "Hey, my teeth over there!" And I'd look on the fridge. His lowers, big wad of chew, uppers, sitting on top of the fridge. Still
oh,
He'd come over and get them, stick them in with the same wad of chew. Yes, sir.
No.
This is the only guy I ever met in my life that I actually watched him with a wad of chewing tobacco in his mouth, drink a Stroh's beer, and eat a powdered donut.
That's
now
too
I
much.
want to leave.
That is too much.
I like it.
That is exactly
too
what
much.
I almost puked for him. When he was doing that. I was like,
That is
"Oh, I got
too much.
A chaw, a Stroh's, and a
Yes.
powder. That's impressive.
Oh yeah, it was
Man.
delightful.
Oh my goodness.
He
I don't
used
know
to-
if I'm
he
going to
used
be
to-
hungry
He
for
used to dislike my
week.
my one brother's wife, and every time they came over, he'd see her and he'd go running out of his house, spit his chew out, and throw it at her. He was a great neighbor.
I guess.
Sure.
Of
But
course.
he is the one that punched the other guy till he was unconscious enough to ride in the
oh,
ambulance.
now it's
So now you're not sure
Circle
how
back.
you feel about him.
You are painting a Bob Ross-esque picture right now. I mean,
One of their kids one time decided he was going to kill himself by laying down in the middle of the street and waiting for a car.
Aw.
Car never came by. A kid on a bike rode up, and he said, "Just hit me," and he rolled right over top. So here he is in the street just going, "Oh!"
Man, you don't understand. You have the makings of a Netflix series. It would be Stranger Things.
Much
and it's just Don sitting in a chair telling stories.
Right.
No,
It'll do the whole like dream sequence thing into the thing, and then it'd come back to Don, and he
Yep,
just got this look
I'm
like,
my own
like
sketch
I've
show at
seen
this
some.
point.
It's like the best episode of Drunk History ever.
Oh yes,
Charlie
Yeah.
Murphy right now is
that's
going,
funny.
damn, up and he's like, damn, I'm in
what? Wow.
Rick James.
You bring up Rick James. I just have to say, I think that it is a shame that there is an entire generation of Americans who only think of Rick James as that dude from Chappelle's Show.
Right.
We were talking about that earlier.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Stratton.
Nope.
For the next 39 minutes.
Shout out.
I thought we were still on garden tools. You said
You're gonna get a call
Like
at like
what?
4 a.m. He's just gonna throw another name out at you.
There are a couple of local comics that know where it is
I'm dancing around all over the place.
because one of them grew up with me there.
Was Travis Charles one of the kids tied to the porch?
No, probably should have been.
Wow.
And Holly Shock currently lives there. Not in the same neighborhood, but in that town.
wow. Holly.
Hey, Holly.
So it's gotten a little more liberal.
We've gone off the rails.
She didn't leave him much choice.
Did I ever tell you she almost became my next door neighbor?
Yeah, you
in
did.
Englewood. Oh, that
Yeah.
would have been fantastic.
That would've waked
we would
Englewood
have ran
up.
the rest of the neighborhood out.
Oh man.
Your wife would have never married you.
Sorry, you got me on whistle.
Yeah, we got
And see, me, I'm,
it. So how about them hoes? How about them hoes?
you should
How
take
about them automatic hoes? 'Cause that's what-
you should take Holly to that donut shop there, and the one that you and I met at that one time, and see if it just kind of
okay.
lights a
She's
fire.
been there.
Oh, has she?
Yeah, she's been there.
Say light a fire under everybody's butt because
Yeah, we've actually talked. I talked when I used to go there a lot before.
Wait, what's the story about the donut shop? Is this something I want to know?
It's Albrecht's in Englewood. It's a nice. It's a good
mom and
donut,
pop.
man. Yeah.
It's a nice little mom and pop, but it seems
Actually, those donuts are made in Piqua
oh, okay.
because that's where the original Albrecht's is.
It just
up in
seems,
Piqua.
it's
So
such a
they-
quaint little place. It seems like the kind of place
Can we
that something's happening.
You let me see that?
Yeah. You talked to Holly, didn't you?
No.
You sent her a message and said,
No.
"Where do you?" Yeah.
No.
Okay.
It's public domain information,
Okay.
sir.
That's all good.
West Milton. Wait, but wait. The reason, real talk, for real. My ex-husband grew up outside of West Milton.
You said Piqua.
Okay, you asked where his family was from.
Oh,
And I
okay,
said
my
his
bad,
grandparents
my bad.
were in Piqua, but he grew up, you know that, okay, so you're coming up 571, right?
You know,
to go to
you-
75.
yeah, absolutely.
So, Wheelock Road?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, you probably know my former in-laws, and you probably know why I'm divorced.
I'm going to have to ask after the show because I don't.
Okay.
It probably shouldn't say it on the air, but I'm going to have to ask.
What
'cause
year did you
I
graduate?
Probably know. I'm 95.
You graduated in 95?
Yes.
Okay. You may know my ex-husband.
My oldest brother graduated in.
No, he graduated in 89.
Okay.
He
I had a
graduated-
brother
but his
graduate in
little
88. I had a brother
sister-
graduate in 91, and brother graduated in 92.
You may know his little sister, but
Okay.
she ended up getting homeschooled.
Okay.
You know
I'm still
exactly
gonna
who I'm
have to-
talking about.
I'm
You know
still-
exactly who I'm talking about. As soon as I said that, he was just like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
I probably know.
Oh,
Yeah.
Patrick's over
Small
there just
world.
messing with
Small
stuff like he's trying to
world.
take us off the air.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta get this show up here.
I think he's trying to cut off Jess's mic. No, he said your mic's having problems over there. So I was going to ask him to go to break, but since he's down on the ground over here, I'll leave him alone. Do we want to hit a news story before we go to break?
Why
Sure.
not?
Or, are
Let's
we done,
hit that,
Are we
Don.
done talking about my boring childhood?
Look, that childhood was anything but boring.
Yeah. Oh man.
That was
That's
better than Goonies child.
That sounds like about 80%
Here's
of why
the
we have
thing.
safety regulations right now. Is that one neighborhood?
Here's the thing. I grew up thinking everybody goes through this.
Had I followed through with
Apparently
law
not.
school, I feel like I would have been
Not
studying your family
at all.
I mean,
Yeah, but my family was the normal ones in that bunch. We just observed
Okay.
and said, "Yep, that was stupid."
okay.
Okay, some of them.
That's
were.
like being. That's,
Aren't you glad we don't live there?
I loved it though. I wouldn't have changed it.
It's charming.
Yeah, let's take a break, Patrick. Who do we got on this?
He's
First?
just got stuff in his
this
hands.
is,
He's tearing stuff apart.
Yeah, he's got a screwdriver. He's got some kind of guard. Safety that he just removed to scare us all. Okay, hold on
Probably
just a
broke a
second. For a second break, we're going to play a little St. Mary, St. Michael with the song, since it's alcohol related, and we probably need that. The song is Neat. We'll be back shortly.
Ah, you fool! You fell victim to one of the classic blunders. The most famous is never get involved in a land war in Asia, but only slightly less well known is this: never go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line.
Almost had it all, and I lost everything. All that's left to me is my name. But I don't want your pity. The only thing I need is to drown my sorrows and pain. So bartender, you asked me what I'd like to drink. Well, it's been a long day, I can hardly think. My life is such a mess. So if you're asking me, well, I'll take my whiskey neat. The last one that we pulled, then we'd all go clean. But then I saw them gun him down. Don't ask me what I mean, don't say anything, just pour me another round. So bartender, you asked me about my drink of choice. Well, I don't want anything to water down my voice. Now my life is such a mess. So maybe what I need is to take my whiskey neat. Maybe it's my fault, maybe I brought it on myself. Now this glass is my only friend. I'm drinking till I'm numb, and I still hurt like hell. Just keep pouring until I say when. Oh, bartender, you ask me what I'd like to drink. Well, it's been a long day, I can hardly think. My life is such a mess, so maybe what I need is to take my whiskey neat. So I'll take my whiskey neat. Yeah, I'll take my whiskey neat.
Move over, Jimmy Kimmel. Step aside, Conan O'Brien. Back off, Stephen Colbert. It's my turn. I'm Mike Shea, and every Tuesday on my show, Mike Talks Funny, I sit down and talk with comedians, actors, film fans, podcasters, anybody willing to get down, get deep, and get dirty.
I don't remember the first time I had sex. That was horrible. I didn't even finish the first time I had sex.
I've tasted what most comics want, and now I have to go back and eat leftovers.
You're so brave for wearing that shade of lipstick on stage. Oh my God.
Think of Last Comic Standing, and Mystery Science Theater 3000 had a baby, and that's the show.
My online doppelganger is also a larger black man. He is Adrian Miller. All the top results are he's a professor.
Interviews with great people, not to mention all kinds of awesome new music every show.
Hey, this is Don Smith.
This is Scotty Mays.
Hey, this is Kevin Goatee with Comics Watching Comics.
Brought to you by Eventide Entertainment.
Hey, this is Don Smith from the Life Radio Show. Do you like telling jokes? Are you the class clown? Do your friends always tell you you're funny? You want to prove them wrong? Well, nearly every Sunday, Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in Dayton's Oregon District brings you Wiley's Sunday Comics. You can be the one on stage making people laugh. Or not. All you have to do is send an email to wileysundaycomics@gmail.com and follow the instructions in the reply email, and you can tell jokes at Ohio's oldest comedy club.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
Hey man, this is Donnie Baker at Wiley's Comedy Club, and you're listening to WWSU 106.9. I swear to God.
Which meetings would that be?
Yeah, right. The Mensa meeting.
No, I never went to the Mensa meetings. I was usually too high. No, I didn't like any of those people. Actually, I was in elementary school. I was in like all the advanced classes and stuff like that.
Oh, isn't that fun?
And I
was a gifted kid
because
in elementary school.
All of my friends were the hoodlums, the long hairs. Those were my buddies, and they were not in there with me, and I did not like it.
So if you were with Pony Boy and Johnny, you would have been a greaser.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. If life
Right.
if life was
like look at you being all.
You were no soch.
No, I was not a soch. Oh, so hey, welcome back to the Life Radio Show. We're really just delving into my history here. We still don't have a name for this show either. I was thinking sword swallowing.
I thought it was the double booking. We're not doing the double booking.
Oh, that was bleeping ourselves was the name of the first episode. Yeah, this is the second half. This is a new episode.
Well, in typical stereotypical fashion, I'm late.
I would think West Milton's finest might take the cake on that.
That's a possibility.
Don gets real.
Just to give a nice shout out to my hometown.
There you go.
Yeah, there's still several people I'm related to up there. Some of them admit it.
Not many, but some.
But no, hey, where are we? So we should.
You were going to do a story. Tell me a story, Uncle Don. I actually have an uncle named Don, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my mother's brother.
Uncle Don or Uncle Donald?
No, Don.
That's okay.
Yeah. That's some more white people stuff. No.
Must be. Well, that was a Donald Duck stuff.
It was Uncle Scrooge.
Are we going news story? What are you doing?
I'm getting ready to do the drum roll.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
No?
That's why the microphone keeps breaking.
Oh, man. He gave me the thumbs up. He's like, nice. He's like,
you are hallucinating.
Finger.
Oh, I thought you gave me the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Wow,
like I said, different finger.
Got it.
You guys and fingering. It always ends up talking about finger.
Yeah, usually that's just how it starts.
News.
A woman in Pasadena, Texas is really frosted at her local Walmart after the store's employee goofed up an order for a graduation cake by giving her one made out of styrofoam. Marcy Flores ordered a cake from the retailer last week to celebrate the high school graduation of her daughter, Leoneva.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why they gave her a styrofoam cake.
Yeah. Flores told Houston station KPRC, "This is my baby, and she was graduating, so it was very important to me." But things crumbled when she went to the store to pick up the cake. It seemed the Walmart bakery had lost the order and didn't have anything ready. The store manager told Flores to choose any cake from the ones that were ready to go. The bakers then added a cap and gown photo and on the cake, and Flores brought it to the graduation party, but it was styrofoam.
Okay, point of order. Styrofoam don't weigh as much as cake.
No,
not even.
That's a little, that would be.
So I most absolutely would have been like, excuse me, what kind of cake is this that it don't weigh nothing?
It's diet.
It's going to be a fluffy
I feel
cake.
like there was more of a conversation. Her last name is Flores. I feel like there was more of a conversation than just she left with it.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there had to have been. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that was.
Well,
what else?
Moving
they
on.
all can't be winners.
Yeah, that is true. Authorities say 2 Florida burglars thought they were very clever.
Sure they weren't from West Milton?
It's possible. Thought they were clever when they used a blowtorch to break into an ATM machine, but they never hit the jackpot. Instead, the burning heat actually welded the ATM's hinges shut. Okaloosa County Sheriff's officials say video surveillance shows 2 male suspects entering the boardwalk on Okaloosa Island on Friday, one armed with a crowbar and appeared to serve as a lookout, while the other took the blowtorch to the ATM. Instead of cutting the ATM with a blowtorch, authorities said the would-be thief welded the metal part shut, and the pair left with nothing.
Shouldn't they have switched places? Shouldn't the guard have had the blowtorch and the ATM guy had the
Probably
crowbar?
would have worked better.
I think the only way that story could be better is if the heat burned the money, and instead of being charged with attempted robbery, it would be like mutilation of money.
Yeah. Or arson. There you go.
Right?
There's a lot of stuff going on.
But
that would have
Florida.
been better. Yeah, that's Florida. Because Florida.
Because Florida.
Yeah.
And there's a special level of incompetence you have to do to screw up something solitary. Who's watching you at an ATM?
Well, they usually have a camera, though.
Well, but is somebody actively watching you?
I don't know. I mean, there may be a security type person.
Well,
it depends.
They didn't catch
It depends.
They just had footage.
There you go.
Yeah,
Well,
they
at
just
that
had
point,
video footage.
At that point, you got
I
to
don't
figure
know.
they're
I'm
just kind of
feeling like they're just like, we got worse people to catch.
Right. Do we want to go after these guys?
Get anything anywhere they go.
They just walking away with hurt feelings right now. That's not.
Yeah,
that's punishment enough. They're embarrassed.
If we follow them, the only thing we're getting is more good footage.
Right.
Yep, I
Then
bet
we'll
their
have to
kids
get
are
a
home
release
tied to the
form.
porch.
That's
Then
what
we have to get.
That's one for like
right.
That's one that's going like in the police email blast every month, just like the goofy cases or whatever of the month that they all get to read up on and laugh about.
That's what I want for these stories.
But see, the thing is, he accidentally learned a trade. I mean, you should take that.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, if you have access to a blowtorch like at your discretion, I would think that you would at least like go work in a chop shop or something.
Right,
Why are you just like limiting yourself?
Yep. I'm gonna be a welder, Daddy.
Well, how'd you get interested in that? You don't want to know.
I found my way out of a life of crime.
We'll just say it's a more safe occupation.
I'm finally going straight, guys.
A Taco Bell without taco shells might seem, well, criminal, but it's not something to call the police about.
What?
That's the announcement a police department in Louisiana issued this week in response to a citizen's call for help. A Taco Bell in Slidell ran out of hard and soft taco shells, and one irate customer reported the gross miscarriage of justice to the police. In a Facebook post on Monday, the Slidell Police Department agreed that the lack of taco shells was truly a travesty, but the offense wasn't under their jurisdiction.
Even though I'm sure they were already there eating at that Taco Bell.
Exactly.
So the question is, which manager didn't order enough shells?
Right,
Or who's breaking too many shells? I mean...
Or more importantly, there's got to be a Walmart near a Taco Bell.
Exactly. Right. Somebody go out and get more shells.
Some man just got to step up and say, you know what, I'm getting a company check $8 for 100.
We're good.
We're okay. The hard ones, you know what, we got luck. Everything's soft tonight. But you know,
I've heard that before.
That's a bummer. That's a bummer.
Yeah, you know, everything's soft tonight. Sorry.
Yep.
Just having a Freudian
I'm
slip
just gonna
over
sit
there.
here innocently for a second. I'm not gonna.
Yep. Just take that.
Just
in.
let it.
Just
let it.
Just let it roll.
Just let it.
That's what his wife
just
does.
Let it hang. Just let it hang there.
Let it drift.
It's not going to do anything else.
Dangle.
As long as it's not in the dirt.
Yep. Now you ain't got that kind of reach.
No, that's cadence. Don't let your dingle dangle in the dirt.
Oh,
yeah, military thing. Yeah.
Okay.
all the Army listeners got that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And I missed it completely.
Don's like, okay, moving on.
Moving on.
He's over this.
Right. Freaking veterans and their God. Go watch a football game, Leslie.
Authorities in Pittsburgh said an alligator found on a resident's porch was the third of the species to be found in the city in less than a month.
Because somebody moved there from West Milton. Sorry.
Pittsburgh public safety officers responded to a report of a loose alligator because it was they get around, you know. Yep.
How was it dressed?
Yeah, look,
Black and
it
gold.
came up to their window and said, "You looking for a good time?" Report
Although I kind of want to see an alligator go run now.
Don't
Kinda
we
like
all?
that.
Report of a loose alligator in the Carrick neighborhood Saturday found a 2.5-foot long gator. It's just a little one.
Aw, 2.5.
On the front porch of a residence. The alligator was captured in a box, and Animal Care and Control transported the animal to the Humane Animal Rescue. Officials at the Humane Animal Rescue said they have been in contact with the alligator's owner in West Milton.
You
Figured I'd
almost
get there.
did. You were so close.
Got in contact with the alligator's owner and discovered it had escaped when a tree fell on its enclosure.
That's some homeward bound stuff right there.
It wasn't a homing gator.
That's
yeah.
Right.
I would love to hear someone from Pittsburgh. Have you heard them talk? Like,
I try not to. I don't listen. Usually when people from Pittsburgh talk, I just shut down.
it would be like, so what Yin's doing tonight? They say the
Right,
word Yin's.
right.
There's no
In Pittsburgh, they
Yeah.
do
Oh,
Yuns.
yeah.
It's
Yin's,
Yin's, not Yuns.
Okay, because Yuns is Tennessee.
Yuns,
I got
yeah.
family in Tennessee.
Yeah.
That's all Yuns.
Oh, I thought Yuns was Ohio. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's it's all
I
crossed
first
over
heard
these
Yuns in
days.
Ohio, so I
Yeah.
didn't.
Yins and fries and tomatoes and coleslaw and sandwiches. Pittsburgh's just their own little
We
world.
don't say sandwiches here. I've heard fries. You know, several times.
And coleslaw.
tomatoes.
And
I've heard
coleslaw.
all
Only
over
at
the
Taco
country.
Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only at the Taco Bell.
Like nacho fries, actually. They're pretty good.
Look, those nacho fries. It's a
thank you.
complete travesty, but
It's like Taco Bell's like that all around. Everything
Yeah,
there is,
everything they-
awful, but I'm
yeah.
still gonna go.
yeah. That is it exactly. I have like a pet peeve about foods because people like to call things a food just because it's easier. Like chicken fajitas, that is not a thing. Okay, fajitas are supposed to be strip steak. That is
Right,
the name of the cut of the meat. So having
Well,
chicken
it's like
fajitas.
chicken in a quesadilla.
Oh,
Quesadilla.
no,
cheese.
no. Well, but you can have a chicken quesadilla because you put chicken in the quesadilla. That's
But
different.
you can't put chicken in a fajita.
Well, then it would be a pollo quesadilla.
Are you just trolling me right now? Is that what's happening right now?
Hey,
Is
Welcome
that
to the
what
show.
you're- is that what you're doing?
Aren't they?
All right, so what's your thought on fajita peppers?
Well, they go in a fajita.
Yeah, what do you mean? What thought? Pepper.
See, this is how black people end up in jail. Okay,
Just
since
this.
y'all can't seem to comprehend that concept, let's talk about gyros. Can we agree that gyros are supposed to be gyro meat?
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Okay.
Lamb,
So if you
beef.
have a chicken gyro, that is not accurate.
No,
Right.
it's not.
That is not.
That's a euro.
Gotcha.
See, y'all, I only got 16 more minutes. I can do this. It just took a turn. Everybody. It just took.
We've lost Leslie, guys. Over a fajita.
You noticed losing Leslie. That's the greater.
Do you know that
Losing Leslie coming soon.
Do you know there was a guy who stole $6 million worth of fajitas from a prison like about a year ago?
They got fajitas in prison.
Are you
I don't know if fajitas in my house.
It was fajitas.
It was the
Yeah.
meat?
No, he took like fajita mix, pre-made fajita mix from a prison. Yeah, well, I learned this from your show.
I
Right,
mean, how
right.
many? That's.
I don't remember it being fajita mix. I remember it being tortillas.
I thought it was fajitas.
I think it was just
You sure?
tortillas. Yeah.
Look, that's 6 million in
I mean,
tortillas. That is a lot of tortillas.
I don't want to
Right.
argue with my only listener.
Right.
God forbid I turn you off.
You don't want to
We got
alienate
nothing.
you. But,
Yeah.
but,
I mean, I don't really want to turn him on, but
now I want to go to Taco Bell.
Right?
road trip.
Oh,
We'll do the last 15 minutes of the show from Taco Bell.
remote show.
Remote, yes.
Yep. Do we have the capability, Patrick? I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's
Take us
good.
20 minutes
Yeah.
to get out to the parking lot.
Next time.
My bad.
Next
1.2 million of prison fajitas.
That's still a lot.
Okay.
That's a lot.
That's still so much. I mean,
Oh,
but
right, it
beef,
was fajitas.
Prison
beef is
fajitas.
what? I mean,
Man,
cheap
Texas.
beef is probably like $4 a pound.
If
So
if you're
between
gonna,
the meat and the tortillas and all the stuff.
He got 50 years for that.
yeah, if you're going to steal $1.2
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
million
whoa, hold on,
worth
hold
of
on.
fajitas, it's got to be
Hold
in
on,
Texas.
wait. They got 50.
He's Handing her the phone and everything. Oh, the glasses are on.
Yeah, but we're
the next 15 minutes are just Leslie silently reading
There's
the article.
A wrinkle.
Okay.
There's a wrinkle.
You're
While
wrinkled,
acting
Jeff.
as a public servant.
Well, yeah, he worked
right. It
So
wasn't
he
all
worked
at
at the
once.
prison,
Yeah.
and so it wasn't just simple theft. It was basically embezzling fajitas.
The fajitas.
That's the
that
thing.
makes it so much simpler.
Look, I gotta see this cat's name because you know it's Joseph Smith.
Why's he gotta be a
snap.
Smith?
Oh.
No, it is Gilberto Escamilla. I am a racist. That's okay. I'm allowed.
Can we get that as a
I got some
soundbite?
stuff to make up for.
Can we get that as a soundbite?
Leslie says she's a racist.
Oh, it's recorded.
real.
It's
It's
recorded.
real. Okay, here's another story about me being racist. So I used to work at a casino, which is really like completely immaterial to the story, right? And so one of my young coworkers, young Asian dude, right? He's got a motorcycle, okay? And so, we're out in the parking lot, and he's, going to his motorcycle, and it's a Harley. And I'm like, what? What is a young Asian dude getting on a Harley? And so I confessed to him. I was just like, dude, I have to admit, I expected you to get on the Suzuki, right? Like, what? I'm a horrible person. But I also asked for chopsticks in the Asian places just to see them look at me crazy. Because that's always fun. Can I have chopsticks, please? Or just like, are you sure? I asked for what I asked for.
Speaking of Taco Bell, we were talking about earlier. I was in the drive-thru at Taco Bell the other day, and they said, "Do you want any sauce?" And I just said no, arbitrarily not. And then in the 30 minutes it took me to get to where I got my food because they got two windows but only ever use one. I don't know why they keep the other one there anymore. I get there and I changed my mind, and I said, "I changed my mind. Can I actually get some mild sauce?" Oh, so now you want sauce?
I said I wanted sauce, not saucy.
Right?
Ooh. First of all, if you hadn't given me time to change my mind, we wouldn't be having this discussion.
Yeah. If this was fast food.
Right.
Suffice to say, once I got to work, there was no mild sauce in my bag.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm also pretty sure that wasn't actual meat it's never actual meat, but I'm absolutely sure that wasn't actual meat on the taco at that point. So.
Best kangaroo in America.
Yeah. That's a big thing about
straight out of the hose.
Drives me nuts.
So many things.
Right?
So many things.
Yeah, I went to McDonald's a long time. I don't go to McDonald's anymore because they're crap. But
And
I
can tell you're skinny.
I went to one. I went to one. That's just been a couple years ago. I went to one. When I go, I ask for a plain cheeseburger. I don't want a bunch of because they just load it with crap that I don't want on there.
Healthy
They
vegetables.
So they said what? That I want nothing on it. What about cheese? Yes,
That
it's
would
a
make it a
cheeseburger.
cheese.
Yes, I want a cheese, basically meat, cheese bun, nothing else.
That's it.
God bless you.
So I get it in the
That's how my
drive-thru.
brother
I
used to
get
always
work.
order them, and that always freaked people out.
I get to work.
love
I
it.
open it up. No cheese. Everything else on it.
Oh,
It's like,
man.
moron. Yeah,
That is a cheeseburger.
Yes. That's a cheeseburger.
I stopped going to
Yeah,
McDonald's because
that's
I
right.
would order my burgers ketchup only, and I feel like they'd always put double the pickles and onions on there just to screw with me. Like,
Now I will say I did have a really kind of an evil thought with the tornadoes that just went through.
Uh-oh.
oh, please share.
Because it's really helping me stay on my diet. Because ever since then, I can't get into a fast food place in my neighborhood without waiting 45 minutes. So you gotta look for the silver lining.
Hey, whatever's keeping you on the, hey, it's.
But see,
as it works.
I live over in Kettering where they're all just like that all the time because they're the slowest damn McDonald's and Burger King and all that on the face of the earth. I don't care what time of day it is. I will be in line for 45 minutes to get a McDouble.
Yeah, I
Maybe
can't
that's
do that.
part of
It's
their
not good
ambiance.
enough. I'd rather just go. I'd rather make
Talking
something
German
myself.
again, Don.
But I'm
Yep.
But I'm such a fat Smurf that I will wait 45 minutes for that McDouble.
You're just like, maybe I should get two because I've burned that many calories just waiting.
Yep, sitting in my car because my car is vibrating as I sit here. I'm bound to have burned some calories with that.
Try getting a table
Look,
for one at Chuck
I
E. Cheese when you
absolutely
look
burn
like me.
calories. Never mind.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like
Let's
that.
call it that.
Sure.
So who wants to hear my story about a fast food thing that happened?
Go right ahead.
Yes, please.
So I know how polite am I that I asked first. Like you
What
guys are going to
show
be
are
like,
you
you
on?
know, now we think about it. We only got
We're
10
just here
minutes left.
shouting
I'm like,
stuff
wow.
out. She's like, "Can I please say something as well?"
Look, I know my place, people. You don't get out of those habits just because people suddenly realize it's kind of messed up that you were there in the first place. But, so I went to a fast food place and my order came out to $6.02, right? So I hand the kid, who was clearly a high school kid, barely old enough to work there, a 10 and a 1, and then I'm getting the 2 pennies out of my wallet. Well, he's already pushed it into the register, so when I hand him the 2 pennies, he gives me this.
Has no idea.
Good Lord in heaven. 2 pennies. 2 pennies. 2
Abraham
pennies.
Lincoln's.
So he nonchalantly, but not very slyly, gets his cell phone out of his pocket to do the calculator. Yes. Look, if I had not witnessed it with my own eyes, I would have thought that kid was one of those cryptids. I have heard legends. I have heard stories about these creatures existing. I had never seen one in the wild. And so he looks up, and with a face that he's going to be getting by with for the rest of his life, says, "I'm really bad at math." I'm like, "Baby, you need a chaperone. You're a target." Okay, that's not just bad at math. That is like test anxiety that I can't even. You literally only had to count $4.99, $5 to give me a $5 bill back, and he couldn't. He convinced himself that he couldn't do it. That kid didn't get any participation trophies, is what I'm saying.
No.
Don't knock it so much, because
Nor
that's how
should
you
he
end up
have,
with kids who can do that.
Well, they didn't have the 2 penny button on the register. He wasn't sure where to hit.
He's still going to procreate, though. That's
I
what
know.
I'm saying.
That's
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Oh, yeah, because he doesn't know how it works.
Right. So that's how that keeps
Let's
happening.
talk about not knowing how things work. So this is what happens when I'm getting better at the not knowing my place thing.
Here we go.
So I was doing a show in Cincy, right? And so many times when I'm on a show, especially if there's no poster, like this was like a part mic, part showcase. So there were open micers, and then there was a feature in me, right? And so I'm closing out the show, and the things these open micers were saying, I was just like, okay, this is but I was in a mood. And so this was a night that Leslie was going to address some stuff, right? So I go up. First of all, 2 of the dudes look like horrified. Like, oh, I didn't know she was a comic. Yeah, bleep. Okay. Absolutely am. But see, the one dude, and I almost hope he's listening to this because he will avoid me like the plague from now on. So his joke was about how he ended up in the free clinic with a health scare and had to give a urine sample, and he always makes a mess when he has to give a urine sample. And I'm like, mother bleeper, you were born with a spigot. Okay? If you don't know how to use that thing, that's probably how you ended up there in the first place. All right? Maybe you need to just keep it in your pants until you watch a couple Netflix videos or something. But there is no excuse for a dude making a mess when he gives a urine sample. There's zero. No. I mean, if you can control it to give a sperm
there's like
sample.
really nothing there.
But absolutely, I was in the business of roasting people that were just like one dude. He did his entire set off his cell phone, which, you know, when you're first getting started, I don't have like a major malfunction with that. But what you're not going to do is talk about how women can't think for themselves while you're reading it from a cell phone.
Yeah, touche.
Oh, man.
Bang.
So needless to say, Angry Leslie was in full form that night. And they were like, when can we have you back?
That's fun sometimes.
That's great.
I was like, are you serious right now? You can't look up from your phone to talk crap about women? That is how you going to grow a black female incel, Chet. That's how that's what you're doing right now. You're going to mess it up for all the white dudes.
Gotta love open mics. I tore into one not too long ago just for being very bad.
Yeah.
It was the same night I went up and talked about some of the things that I got really personal that night, and I'm very angry. And the first thing I did is I kind of chewed on the guy that I went up after because he's just very, very boring and not funny. I've known him for a few years and never has been.
I wonder if if we're thinking about the same person.
And the first thing I did is I went up and I said, I'm going to go ahead and try to match his energy. So I'm just going to take a bleeping nap for the next 5 minutes. So yeah, that was fun.
And at least 3 people were thinking, he's not wrong.
Oh, I'd say it's more than 3 because that was an eruption and an applause break, right?
Okay, wait. I got
he
one.
left.
I got another one. So, and I'll try to make this 3 minutes. So, I was doing a fundraiser in away, right? And 2 other comics on the show. We all carpooled because we're all from Columbus, and this other person was like a local, right? And so, knowing that I was following him, he is desperately trying to save a set, which was, dismal. Like, to the point that one of my carpool mates was like, Leslie, I'm not saying save the show, but, right. So,
get naked.
He decided to close with, look, people would laugh so much more than you think they would. But he decides to close with, you ever notice how the president talks like a black female? Knowing I'm following him, and launches into this just ratchet, just stereo, just garbage, right? And so I go up, and I just give it a second after, my intro or whatever. I go up, I get, settled everything, and then I just turn to the crowd, and I'm just like, I don't even talk like that. Audience is just like, thank the Lord, somebody who can make me laugh.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
That's why I'm glad
no one's ever said that when I done stand up.
Somebody that can make you laugh.
No, thank the Lord, someone who can make me laugh. That has never happened.
No, I'm sure.
Give it some time.
Yeah, someday.
If I work hard.
If you just keep trucking along.
Well, I mean, they've got instant tanner and those surgeries are getting cheaper. I'm just saying.
Well, on that note, we're going to have to wrap it up. Leslie, do you have any shows coming up you want to plug?
Actually, I'm going to be at the Liberty Funny Bone on June 26th as part of a fundraiser called The Dog and Funny Show.
Oh,
I'm on the one here in Dayton on the 25th.
Oh, that's a traveling dog.
Yeah.
Because the 25th, I'm in Cincy with Tabari McCoy and a whole bunch of other people doing the Adora Bowl, also a fundraiser at Go Bananas. So nice. I have to talk about my cats that I used to have when I was married. Isn't that weird? I had cats when I was married, and now that I'm single, I'm just like, nope, no cats. I'm good. I'm cool. Nope.
Yeah. Can understand that. I guess.
I got nothing.
Jess, you got nothing?
Just anyone interested in hiring a comedian for 15 minutes, $115 an hour. Heron Entertainment, that's who I represent. Feel free to give us a call.
Oh, Heron. Okay.
Heron Entertainment.
I thought you said hair and entertainment. I was like, you're missing something.
No.
The entertainment. Yeah, but I hope the entertainment's good at least.
I will be on the Dog and Funny Show at the Dayton Funny Bone on Tuesday, June 25th. And Mike Talks Funny new episode every Tuesday.
All right, cool.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah,
thanks, Don.
You know what?
Thank you,
when
man.
I was going through the comedy rundown, I forgot to put on there. Also on June 13th, there is a show at Wiley's. It's not really a show. We're opening the doors and accepting donations for victims of the Dayton tornadoes.
Good.
Yeah. What will be going on in the background is there is going to be some fun and games, some games and trivia and stuff for the first couple hours, and then there's going to be an open mic, and then after that a Dayton local showcase. And we're not opening the bar. We're not selling anything. We're not trying to make money off of this. I'm going to have some snacks and some sodas. You can come in, help yourself, drop off any donations you want to drop off, sit and enjoy some comedy or some trivia or whatever you want, have some free snacks, enjoy yourself, and then get out.
Right?
Get out.
It'll be a lot of fun. So I'm going to be performing in the showcase on that one. I'm also going to be at Wiley Sunday Comics this Sunday hosting. Like I said, can do you a Carpenter's closing that one out. It's always fun to see. June 20th, I'll be at the Barrel down in Springboro at 857 West Central, I believe it is.
Oh, for the Barrel Laughs
show?
show?
For the Barrel Laughs, which is
Why
always
are you
a fun
not
show.
looking on the paper?
What's that?
You read it before. It's
Yeah, I
on
know.
the-
It's okay.
That's a venue stolen, folks.
Yeah. That's the rumor. Really good show now, though.
Right?
Snap.
Funny how that worked out. Funny how that worked out.
Fired.
All right, Patrick, I'm done. Get us out of here. Thanks for coming in, guys. It's been a blast.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Life Radio Show podcast. Check us out on Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network or wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember, if you want to listen live, we're on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, with repeats on Wednesdays from 10 to noon and Thursdays from noon to 2. You can also stream the show live at WWSU1069.org. If you have suggestions or comments for the show, feel free to email thelife1069@gmail.com.
Presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence.
Swallowing a sword seems a lot better at this point.